Battle Cat collabs are great. I mean, what is there not to like about a lot of free rewards and limited units? Oh yeah, that's right. Stage design. Welcome to a potentially new series where I take a look at bad Battle Cat stages. I'll start off broad for this video since there's a lot of collab stages that I could talk about, but a lot of them can be categorized into two categories. Everyone is here Barons and killer Barons. Whoa, that's crazy! Another Battle Cats player that doesn't like Barons? While Barons are nothing new in the realm of universally hated stages, I feel like collab Barons are just a whole nother level of bad stage design. Funnily enough, I have gone over my thoughts on these types of stages briefly in my Battle Cats collaboration tier list, so if you have watched that video, most of these points will be the same. If you haven't watched the tier list, then don't worry since that tier list is already outdated. To define what I mean by everyone is here, I mean that some, but generally most, gacha units are present as enemies on the stage. Generally, they appear as a massive horde that the player must fight against. The bosses, of course, are the units themselves. These types of barons in general are lazily designed and are just super slow to progress through. As of writing this video and as of version 14.1, these are the applicable collabs that have these types of barons. Ranma 1/2, Bikuriman counting both barons, Fate/Day Knight, Hatsune Miku, and Mercstoria. The general gist of these stages is that the bosses have boosted stats that sometimes differ from the actual stats of the unit that they're copying. This is not so much of an issue since they are supposed to be bosses for their own respective stages if they have one. Know how I say for their own stage. They're clearly not meant to all show up in one stage that it gets increasingly harder after every clear. This leads to really unfun stages since you're always fighting a combination of backliners, mid-rangers, and melee units that all have boosted stats and high magnification. Honestly, it becomes a chore to even clear these stages since once you figure out the strategy, the question becomes how much time do I have to waste on this stage to beat it? Mercstoria is the worst offender since there are 4 melee peons, 4 backliners with most of them having crowd control capabilities, and the boss which is a mid-ranger rusher when playing levels 11 through 20. Cash is increasingly harder to get per level since every peon there effectively became the most tankiest meat shields. Imagine one of those barons that I previously mentioned. Now imagine if they were not lazily designed, but they still somehow sucked. Killer barons are exactly that opposite, but they still manage to suck anyhow. I'm using the word killer here to refer to the witch killer and angel killer ability. The barons I'm referring to here are any barons where bringing any unit with those abilities will make the stage significantly easier. As of writing this video, and as of version 14.1, these are the applicable collabs that have these types of barons: Neon Genesis Evangelion and Madoka Magica. I will mention that these barons don't require having a unit with one of those abilities to beat the stage. To my knowledge, these barons are beatable, and I believe they have been beaten before without using units with those killer abilities. However, to most players, completing a stage without these killer units is pretty much playing any Souls-like game at this point. Quick tangent, but you can actually beat the Walpurgis Snap Baron with just rocks, which is admittedly pretty funny, but this still falls under really bad stage design. Let us not forget about the cat combo that's also required to make these stages much more manageable. While designing a stage around a specific cat combo being used does sound interesting on paper, it is awfully executed in these barons. Both Witch Killer and Angel Killer are not used anywhere else outside of their respective collabs, so Ponos just had to make these abilities and their cat combos relevant by having barons with insanely boosted stats and high magnification balance around a cat combo. To any normal units, this is just a hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby matchup. Essentially, the strategy to beat these barons boils down to defeating it with the woke cat combo, or throwing 10 million rocks at the boss. Which really isn't interesting either way.